Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Hello, everybody. Our lecture today in the cardiovascular physiology is about the long-term regulation of blood pressure. I mean by long-term regulation the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. So, let's start the journey. The journey includes many countries. Let's visit these countries. First, we must know the objective of this lecture. At the end of this lecture, you should know the structure of juxtaglomerular apparatus and the mechanism of release of renin, how angiotensinogen is converted into angiotensin II, and the physiological effects of angiotensin II. The first country we will visit in this journey is the kidney. We must know the structure of the kidney, and we start in the first country, which is the kidney organ. The nephron is the functional and structural unit, the basic functional and structural unit of the kidney. So we must know the structure of nephron. The nephron consists of two parts, the renal corpuscle and the renal tubules. The renal corpuscle consists of the glomerulus and the Bowman capsule. The renal corpuscle is formed by the glomerulus and the Bowman capsule, while the renal tubules, we have the proximal convoluted tubules, the loop of Henle, the distal convoluted tubules, and the collecting ducts. We can see at certain point what is the structure of juxtaglomerular apparatus. At the point where the afferent arterioles enter the glomerulus and the efferent arterioles leave the glomerulus, the distal convoluted tubules touch the afferent arterioles. Distal convoluted tubules touch the afferent arterioles and forming the juxtaglomerular apparatus. The juxtaglomerular apparatus consists of modified cells in the distal convoluted tubules and modified cells in the afferent arteriole. The modified cells in the wall of the distal convoluted tubules called macula densa. Macula densa, which come in close proximity to the juxtaglomerular cells. What is the macula densa? Macula densa is a modified cells in the wall of the distal convoluted tubules, while the juxtaglomerular cells are modified smooth muscle cells in the wall of the afferent arterioles. The macula densa cells sense decrease in sodium in distal tubules or chloride. When the sodium or chloride decrease in the distal convoluted tubules, the macula densa cells will send signals to stimulate renin secretion or release in the blood from the juxtaglomerular cells. Again, if we talk about renin and its production, renin is stored in the juxtaglomerular cells as prorenin, proenzyme. When signals come from macula densa due to decreased sodium concentration in the distal convoluted tubules or decreased chloride concentration, the juxtaglomerular cell secrete renin in the blood of the afferent arterioles. Another stimuli to release renin into the afferent arterioles is decreased pressure in the afferent arterioles themselves. When renin secreted into the blood, it goes to the circulation. Let's go to the other country, which is the liver. The other organ is the liver. The liver produces a protein called angiotensinogen. Angiotensinogen in the circulation converted by the effect of renin into angiotensin 1. So renin enzymatically converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1 in the circulation. From where angiotensinogen comes, it's produced by the liver. We will move to the other country. The other organ is the lung. In the lung, there is small blood vessels. The small blood vessels of the lung contain angiotensin converting enzyme on the endothelial surface of these small blood vessels. This enzyme converts angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2 within seconds or minutes. So angiotensin 1 converted into angiotensin 2 in the lung by the effect of the enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme. What is the effect of angiotensin 2? One of the effects of angiotensin 2 is increased secretion of aldosterone by adrenal gland. So we move to another country, to another organ, which is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland is an endocrine gland. We know that there is endocrine gland and exocrine gland. The exocrine glands have ducts, while the endocrine glands have no ducts and release their hormones directly in the blood. One of the endocrine glands is the adrenal gland. The adrenal gland consists of two parts, the adrenal medulla and the adrenal cortex. The adrenal cortex has three layers. The first layer called zona reticularis. The other layer is zona fasciculata and the outer layer is zona glomerulosa. So adrenal cortex consists of three layers: zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, zona reticularis. Zona glomerulosa secretes aldosterone. The secretion of aldosterone by zona glomerulosa increased by angiotensin 2. Secretion of aldosterone causes increased reabsorption of sodium by the kidney. Increased reabsorption of sodium by the kidney will lead to more sodium in the extracellular fluid, which means more water retention and increase in blood volume, which increases blood pressure. To summarize the lecture, the kidney produces renin, which act on angiotensinogen produced by the liver and convert it to angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 is converted in the lung into angiotensin 2 by the effect of the enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin 2 has many effects. First, on the cardiovascular system, it causes vasoconstriction. The vasoconstriction includes both arterioles and veins. Arterioles more effect on arterioles. It is said that it is 4 to 8 more potent than norepinephrine. يعني 4 إلى 8 مرات يسوي vasoconstriction أقوى من النورepinephrine. Vasoconstriction of the arterioles will increase the total peripheral resistance and increase the blood pressure, while constriction of the veins cause increase in venous return, increase in end-diastolic volume, which lead to increase in stroke volume and cardiac output, which lead to an increase in blood pressure. Another effect is stimulation of aldosterone secretion from the adrenal cortex. Aldosterone acts directly on the kidney to increase sodium reabsorption. Sodium reabsorption, when increased, causes sodium more in the extracellular fluid, which leads to more water retention and increase in blood volume. Another effect, it acts on the hypothalamus and stimulates the thirst center to increase water intake and also increase the release of vasopressin. What is vasopressin? Hormone secreted by the posterior pituitary gland and called vasopressin because it causes vasoconstriction. Another name for this hormone is antidiuretic hormone because it will act on the kidney and increase water reabsorption by the tubules. So it has two names, vasopressin because it causes vasoconstriction and antidiuretic hormone because it increases water reabsorption in the kidney. All these effects will lead to an increase in blood pressure. Another potent effect for angiotensin II, it causes vasoconstriction of the efferent arteriole in the glomerulus, and that will maintain the glomerular filtration rate. Another effect, it will increase the release of norepinephrine from the postganglionic sympathetic fibers. This is the end of the lecture, and thank you for your listening. Thank you.